Hey, what's up, guys? Time Jim here. It's been a while since I've done one of these videos, so forgive me if I seem a little bit rusty. I've done, the way my speech is. Forgive me. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but I'm gonna try my best and hopefully get my point across enough so that you understand what is going on and what I'm trying to say. So, first of all, there's going to be spoilers for Endgame here. So if you haven't watched Endgame, which I highly suggest that you do, go watch Endgame now. It's just amazing. You will not be disappointed. It's one of those once in a lifetime movies that you have to see. So I'm going to be talking about it in three, two, one. Okay, so for this point on, it's spoilers. All right, so Avengers Endgame. Okay, so at the end of that whole thing, it talked about. We saw that at the end of the game, during the movie, in the process of the movie, the Avengers go back in time and play with time and stuff like that in order to defeat Thanos at the end. Now, this jumps back into what was previously happening with the recent Spider-Man Far From Home trailer. It is revealed in the trailer that Mysterio is from another universe. Now, this goes into the whole multiverse theory, the whole multiverse question here. So, we know for a fact that Disney have bought Fox movie rights, and they have acquired the movie rights to the Fantastic Four and the X-Men. So, how does this fit all in? Well, there's a couple. There's one theory in particular that I sort of have in mind with that. But let's sort of explain what the multiverse is for a second before I talk about that. So let's briefly talk about that. The multiverse is the sort of theory that there are different types of universes out there that are similar to one universe, but not exactly like it. In the case of the Marvel Universe here, we have our version of Spider-Man, we have our version of Thor, we have our version of Captain America, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, so on and so forth, right? That is called the 616 universe. That's the main Marvel Universe. Now, the multiverse has different type of Earths on it, in it. With each Earth, there's some sort of variation that has to our heroes. For example, in one version of Earth, Gwen Stacy gets bitten by the radioactive spider instead of Peter, and she is the Spider Woman of that universe, hence Spider Gwen, which you've seen in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. If you haven't seen that movie, that explains the multiverse theory really, really good. So probably a lot better than I could. So there's your sort of brief explanation of the multiverse. Now, getting back to our explanation here. My theory here, and this is just my theory, this is my opinion here. My theory here is that we're going to see sort of a multiverse theory, a multiverse explanation of what we saw in Jonathan Hickman's Avengers and New Avengers run. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, here we go. In Hickman's Avengers, New Avengers run, we see that there's the multiverse out there, and the multiverse is collapsing because of things that happened during, with time travel, with alternate realities, crossing over and stuff like that. What I think is happening is that the multiverse is collapsing because, now this goes back to another brief explanation of the multiverse first thing. In the multiverse theory that happens with Marvel Comics, now, it's all kind of started with Days of Future Past, where there was what happened in the timeline with Kitty going back and diverging the future and stuff like that, so that it never happened. That story of Days of Future Past never comes to pass. However, now it's sort of its own little universe now. So the timeline diverged. So the universe that happened, the events of Days of Future Past is its own universe. The time that universe that didn't, which is the 616, that's our universe. So you get what I'm trying to say here is that with the events of Endgame, and how they mess with time, that is sort of setting off these different universes. However, in Hickman's New Avengers run, constant meddling with that stuff, with dimension hopping and divergent timelines and stuff like that, collapses the universe. Now, again, here's my sort of my theory. This Mysterio, who is sort of this hero, whatever like that I think is going to be most of a facade at the end. That Mysterio's end up being a bad guy in the end. We're going to see the fact that these incursions are going to happen. Now, the incursions are basically the collapsing of the multiverse happening, and it's basically doom and gloom for everything, the end of all things, basically. So where does that sort of fit in with the X-Men and Fantastic Four? Well, in Hickman's run, we actually saw the Fantastic Four, actually just with Reed Richards there, really sort of start to try and figure this thing out, and with the Illuminati, who consisted of Iron Man, Reed Richards, Beast, Black Bolt. There's all kinds of different Professor X, who was before Beast. There's all these different, basically the smartest people. Doctor Strange, Namor, the Submariner. There's all these different basically heads of state, basically trying to figure out how to stop these incursions. So what happens is, what I think is going to happen is that we're going to see in Mysterio's universe, quote unquote, in his universe, his version of the Fantastic Four, or the Fantastic Four in his universe, basically, along with the X-Men. And they're sort of going to cross over, and we're going to try to figure out, how to stop these incursions, whatever. Again, this is my theories. Take it for what it will, take it with a grain of salt, but this is just my theory. So the big question is, how are they going to do all this? How are they going to bring them about, whatever? How they explain, how you can explain the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, whatever like that. So, and the question is, what are they going to, or are they going to jump in? Are they going to jump in this movie? Are they going to be explained in another movie? Are they going to be hinted at in another movie? My guess is that they're going to hint at them in this movie, but not say outright that these are the X-Men, these are the Fantastic Four. I think, in my opinion, it's going to be maybe later on down the road, especially with during Black Panther. We're going to see a lot of that. That's just my guess when we'll see that. But yeah, that's sort of my thing, my guess. Now, as far as trying to explain mutants and the Fantastic Four, so here's my thing. My guess is that since the MCU as a whole is really taking the Ultimate Universe, the 1610 universe, as the source material of a lot of this stuff, a lot of the storylines, or the sort of the outline of the characters, basically the blueprint of the characters onto the big screen. I'm guessing, this is again another guess, that the X-Men aren't going to be the 616 one. They're going to be the ultimate version of the X-Men. Now, the ultimate version of the X-Men aren't naturally born mutants. They were sort of genetically altered later on in life, and they were their genes were messed with and stuff like that. So they're mutants, whatever like that. That's how I think we'll explain the whole mutants were aren't born, and where were they at, and this and that. I think that's how that's going to be handled with the X-Men. With the Fantastic Four, now the Ultimate Fantastic Four are kind of a very, I don't know if I want to say contrived or convoluted, but very complex, I would say. Now, with the FF, yes, we will probably get their basic four, Ben, Sue, Reed, and Johnny. However, with the Fantastic Four, that universe is the the Fantastic Four didn't end up having a very happy ending. There's Reed Richards, who turned out to be a villain. Sue ended up being Kang the Conqueror. Ben and Johnny are basically off on their own. Johnny ended up teaming up with Spider-Man in that universe. Yeah, the team broke up in that universe. So what happens here? What I think is going to happen is that since we're dealing with the Ultimate style universe, and I think that, like I said, I think this is what's going to happen. We're going to see Reed come in, but I think we're going to see signs of him turning evil and being the Maker. And in Hickman's New Avengers run, he is part of the whole cabal that sort of sets out and destroys, the multiverse, so that the main 616 can survive, or the 1610 in his case, and try to annihilate as much as possible so that one universe survives to help out with that cause. We might see a lot of that. That's why I kind of think that's what's going to happen. We're going to see a Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars thing that's going to happen in the movie. The main, I guess, the big Avengers movie that's going to happen is going to be Secret Wars. So yeah, I don't think we're going to see a villain per se for the Avengers movie. I don't think there's anything going to be real. I think they're going to maybe reveal Galactus. I think they're going to reveal maybe some more Celestials. Maybe Molecule Man, and maybe the Annihilus and the Annihilation Wave. Who knows? But at the end of the day, I don't think what the big bad, quote unquote, is going to be an actual person or a thing or an entity. It's going to be basically the multiverse collapsing. That's going to be the quote unquote villain at the end of the day, at the very last Avengers movie. That's going to culminate all these movies together. When I say the very last one, it's the very last one that's going to have everyone come together and do, fight for something, like with Endgame. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's sort of my theories about this whole thing. How and when and where the X-Men are going to have, and what this sort of whole theory about with the multiverse theory that was been revealed with the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer. I do think Spider-Man Far From Home is going to be great. It's going to be excellent. A lot of people are going to go see it because of the aftermath of the Endgame. And I think Endgame is going to be the top grossing movie of all time probably within next week. So, or if not the week after. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. I don't know if you really found any answers here, but hopefully I explained it well. And I'll see you guys later. Take care, guys. I'll talk to you guys whenever. Bye.